A Belgian friend arranged an appointment, and 4 of us arrived at the cellar address 15 minutes early. The neighborhood looked gritty. A cracked concrete sidewalk bulged with trash cans, and massive trucks thundered past. We were in a little-known town in the Graves region of Bordeaux, France. Perhaps we had the wrong address? At 10:05 a.m. Loïc Pasquet waved at us from down the sidewalk. We paced over, fist bumped and followed this perfectly groomed, smiling, bearded man whose quiet presence screamed with self-confidence. We moved down an alleyway of shattered asphalt littered by loose debris. He stopped and turned right, then plunged a long ancient metal key into a beautiful 12th-century wooden door. He led us inside a low-lit cellar with a gravel floor where Gregorian chant pumped from a loudspeaker. "Good for the wine," Pasquet said, referring to the music. "The wine?" Liber Pater. The room was half the size of a classroom. It was dimly lit by a dangling light bulb and 2 candles perched below a statue of Vincent, patron saint of wine. A dozen clay amphorae stood inside. All street noise had vanished and the interior was calming. Pasquet spoke rapidly, delivering a story of the past. In the 1860s and 1870s the phylloxera louse, an ugly-looking aphid about a third as wide as the head of a pin, decimated vineyards throughout Europe. Eventually Europeans succeeded in growing vines again after they substituted North American rootstock that proved resistant to the bug. The result is that almost all vines planted in Europe and much of the world are now comprised of 2 parts, imported rootstock, which penetrates into soil, and the vines you see growing above. These 2 segments are joined by a graft. Although this solution allowed vines to thrive again, the character of vineyard biology altered. First, certain grape varieties did not take well to grafting, and were consequently abandoned. Second, most actual rootstocks, biological plumbing that feeds nutrients upward to grapes, differs from that of 2 centuries ago. This impacts the wines we drink. Much of the Médoc region of Bordeaux, home to ample and well-known wines, sprawls over sandy soils. Because phylloxera dislikes sand, it digs tunnels which collapse in sand. Unlike in clay, many regions of the Médoc were inhospitable to the bug. Nevertheless, even though many vines could have persisted and lived throughout the phylloxera scourge, eventually most were replaced with new, grafted rootstock. This modified the overall vegetative cycles of vines, and also altered chemistry within grapes. Did grafted rootstock cause the taste of Bordeaux wines to alter? Pasquet, self-taught viticulturist and winemaker, sought to refine a lost taste of Bordeaux wines. He did this by hunting down, obtaining and planting grape varieties on non-grafted rootstock, including some that were once grown in Bordeaux but are no longer.